Your writing sucks. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's true. And that's because you're not building up the suspense. I'm going to give you some reasons why that is, and then give you an example of how to fix it. Now, I will tell you this, that any good story, needs to have some foundational building blocks to make the reader want to stay locked in. Okay? Your writing has to attract the reader, captivate the reader, hold their attention, and then make them want more. If you're not doing that, then your story is going nowhere. Okay, you have to let that suspense build into what's called dramatic tension, which is essentially a heightening, like a draw that propels towards a climactic release that the reader feels like all the answers are going to come to them, like everything will be revealed. Okay, but if you have not done that within the story, or you do what's called like a singular suspense and draw, then the story is going to kind of fall flat. You're only going to have the beginning, the middle, and the end. But a skilled writer knows that within that beginning and middle and that middle and the end, you have to repeat that suspense and dramatic tension draw throughout those elements to make the story pop. Okay? So if you're not doing that, if you're not repeating those key connections within the beginning, middle, and end, and you're only leaving it to the overarching storyline, your reader is going to get pretty tired. Just as slow as that sentence was, it's gonna feel like the story is dragging because they're waiting so long to have something that makes them want to stay locked in. Okay, so I did promise you an example, and I'm gonna give you a base storyline, just something to kind of roll with. Okay, so let's say we have a character who is pregnant. Okay, this is a very common trope. The character is pregnant, and her partner does not know that she's pregnant, and she doesn't want them to know she's pregnant because she knows the partner is sterile. See what I did there? I gave you everything about the character, building you up to why would she not want to know, because the partner is sterile. So I was creating suspense, creating dramatic tension to that point. Okay, let's continue with that idea. So she doesn't want the partner to know that she's pregnant because the partner is sterile. And let's say one day the partner goes into the bathroom, he sees that there is a pregnancy test in the trash can. What? So this is the point where we think, oh my gosh, he's gonna find out. Like, he's going to figure out that she's pregnant. So he grabs the pregnancy test out of the trash can, he takes it to the main character and says, what is this? It's a pregnancy test. Well, I know what a pregnancy test is. Why do you have it? So at this point, we're at that dramatic tension because now everything could possibly be revealed. She's going to be found out. But this is a point where a skilled writer will either press on the gas or pull back on the gas and create more tension so that the story will continue to develop. So stepping on the gas would be, hey, she's found out, the story is going to come to this end, we're going to either decide the fate of this relationship based on this, or you pull back and you go, oh, that's not mine, it belongs to so-and-so who came over and she's late, so she took a test while she's here and she wanted to know if she was pregnant. Oh, she can do that at home? Yeah, but she didn't want her partner to know yet. You know, they're trying for a baby. Oh, okay. So your audience is still like, oh my God, she just had a brush with death in this moment, how long is she going to be able to keep this up, to keep this lie going? So that's the difference between the building suspense, the dramatic tension. You can either, add more on, or you can let off of it and rebuild it again. Again, it's all about how you want your story to develop and where it's ending. Which brings up another great point. You have to know the beginning, the middle, and end of your story. You need to know where it started, where it's going, and where you want it to end up. The only person that knows that is you, the writer. Do not leave the reader to make up their own ending. Like, there's going to be times along the way where they're going to assume what's happening, but you have to give them a dedicated beginning, middle, and end. And you do that by adding those suspense elements and creating that dramatic tension and giving them some form of release throughout that story and eventually at the end. Now, if you're writing a series, yeah, it may continue on, but even at the end of like book 1 or 2 or whatever, at the end of each book, you still have to give them something that makes them want to know more. So something that releases them from everything they've been going through, but also builds tension for the next story. Okay, if you like tips like this, feel free to follow me. Okay, definitely make sure you save this video, that you also share it with someone. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure it's on this side. You save it and you share it with someone, and follow me, because I'll be giving out more tips like this. If you want to know more about how I build tension in books, you can check out my book Rogue Lens and Rogue Deception. I have them right here. They're available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. You can check them out. There's ebooks, hardback, paperbacks. You have options. All right, again, don't forget to follow me, like this video, share it with someone, and definitely save it so you can come back to this.
Killer.